You're listening to Calm Living Blueprint Revisited, Reflections from the Path with Dr. Candice Esposito. As long as you're wrapped up in the illusion, you're caught in a vicious cycle. You tell yourself, I have to fill my head with positive thoughts. I have to get rid of the negative thoughts. Sure, you can do that temporarily, but the so-called bad thoughts eventually come back. Then what happens? You feel bad about having the thoughts. You feel like you failed at getting rid of them. You see how it becomes this vicious cycle? That was me over a decade ago, talking about the mind as a trap. And I still agree. But what I see now is that the mind itself was never the problem. It's the belief that we are the mind that keeps us bound. The thoughts don't control us. Our identification with them does. Back then, I taught that the first step to peace was dropping the rope, letting go of the tug of war with anxiety. And that teaching still stands. But what I didn't yet see was who was holding the rope. The ego fights the ego. The mind tries to silence the mind. It's like fire trying to put out fire. You can't drop the rope until you realize it was never yours to hold. It was made of thought, woven entirely of imagination. When I hear my old words, you can't control the anxiety. Now I want to add, because there is no separate controller. There's only life moving through you, asking to be felt. In that earlier episode, I challenged the idea that you could think your way to freedom. And that was radical for its time. But even so, I still carried the hidden rule that certain thoughts were better than others. That peace meant calm thoughts, not chaotic ones. That awareness meant quiet, not noise. Now I know that consciousness holds it all, the serenity and the storm. The goal isn't to have better thoughts. It's to know yourself as the space in which thoughts rise and fall. When you stop judging your mind, it softens on its own. Thoughts become like weather, temporary, always changing, never personal. And you remain the sky. You tell yourself, I have to fill my head with positive thoughts. I have to get rid of the negative thoughts. Sure, you can do that temporarily, but the so-called bad thoughts eventually come back. What I was describing, without yet knowing the language, was energetic resistance. Thoughts are energy in motion, information seeking integration. When we label them negative, we resist them. And when we resist them, we feed them. A thought left alone dissolves into stillness. A thought resisted becomes a loop. So the work isn't to replace one thought with another. It's to stop fueling the loop through judgment. That's what I mean now by letting the energy complete itself. Every thought, even the dark ones, are simply fragments of life asking to return to wholeness. In that old episode, I used the image of a mad scientist,
and a lie detector that buzzes at the slightest anxiety. It was a vivid way of saying, see how impossible control really is. Today, I'd ask something gentler. Who is noticing the anxiety? Who is aware of the racing thoughts, the tension in the chest, the inner commentary saying, I shouldn't feel this way? That awareness, the one quietly watching it all, is never anxious. It doesn't need to control anything. It simply witnesses. When you remember that you are the witness, not the weather, the illusion of control collapses on its own. Let's take a moment to experience this directly. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And notice the thoughts moving through your mind right now. Maybe about your day, your to-do list, this recording, or nothing in particular. Now, notice that you're noticing. That awareness isn't thinking. It's simply aware. It doesn't have a position, an opinion, or a preference. Let the thoughts keep moving. Don't follow them. Don't push them away. Just feel them pass through the open field of awareness, like clouds across the sky. If a thought feels sticky or charged, breathe into it. Let the breath be like sunlight, softening its edges. Stay with us for a few breaths. Now open your eyes, keeping that same quiet awareness with you. This is what it means to drop the rope. Not to suppress the mind, but to rest as the space beyond it. The mind wants control because it doesn't trust life. But the moment you surrender control, life begins to show you that it is trustworthy. The body unwinds, the breath deepens. Thoughts still come, but they lose their authority. The controller was only ever a frightened child inside you, trying to stay safe. When you stop fighting it, you can finally hold it. Control transforms into care. Effort dissolves into allowance. And calm, the real kind, returns on its own. When I listen back to that 2013 version of myself, I hear a young teacher trying to free people from the mind. Now I see the deeper invitation to free the mind itself. To make peace with thought is to realize thought was never the enemy. It was simply another expression of life, calling you home.
Keep calm and carry on.
This time, let it mean keep calm, not by controlling what you think, but by remembering who is thinking. Thank you for walking with me through this reflection. In the next episode, we'll revisit how to unhook yourself from your thoughts and explore what happens when awareness becomes love. I'm Dr. Candice Esposito, and this is Calm Living Blueprint Revisited.